Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a challenging layout lift. This layout is by Yulya Khudyakova, who is on the Sparklers design team with Spiegelmom Scraps, and it's a minimalist, though very textured and interesting layout, so I thought I'd give it a whirl. The things that appeal to me about it are the little staples that seem to be holding the bits of paper in place, the bit of lace here that kind of wraps around the bottom of the photo, the white sequins, the black ink spots, a few little seed pearls, some more staples. It's just, to me, a very, very lovely layout, and it's quite lovely with the photo of the two of them. My photo is going to be a little bit different. I also like this thread, the twine, and I have some that I think will go. So, having pointed out all of the things that inspire me, the wrinkledy paper, the staples here and there, let's go for it. I'm going to put it aside, and I probably won't refer to it again. First of all, I've had this roll of handmade paper for years, and it's gotten appropriately wrinkled and should have that same texture, though it's Snow White, and I think that one, hers was a little off-white. I'm going to staple this, and my point here is not to have a particularly matchy looking edge. So I'm going to use these, I may have it with my edge, my cardstock edge showing in some areas. I'm not using glue here because and I may use it to kind of make it behave in some areas. Kind of alternating, and I'm kind of bringing it together, letting it get into some kind of natural folds here. Once I get these four corners done, I may do some glue to help it behave. I think I will pull out my trusty Easy Runner Grand. Do that, and I'll wrinkle it here to give it something of a pleat. That's not showing, is it? Let me get the camera down more to where the workspace is. Okay. Here, again, I'll put a little glue here. I may do more of this at the end, and I'm probably going to end up with a few pleats in random areas, and I may elect to have some strategic areas. So for now, I'm going to consider this done. And I'm going to, in the middle of it, kind of place, this is the photo I'm using. It's the castle that was used in The Sound of Music, and it was a view. We got a good view of the castle. We went out on a sleigh ride on a trip to Salzburg, my very first trip to Europe back in 1999. So I want this photo to be kind of here, about the same placement as her photo, I think, just off center and down a bit. So knowing that that's going to be there, I'm going to get the picture far, far away and try to do the ink spots. And I, to be honest, have no idea how the ink is going to penetrate this paper. So I'm going to try some on this scrap. It seems to work just fine. It is nice and vivid. It's the paper is absorbent, so I think that's going to work well. So I will do some sprinkles there and kind of up. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to use because I have another element that will add a little touch of black. Over here in my boxes of embellishments, I have one labeled cameras and typewriters, bikes, and music. So just kind of a general category of things that I like to use on my, okay, there. I have these music notes. So since the title of my page has to do with The Sound of Music Castle, the title's going to reference The Sound of Music as well. I'm letting that ink dry, and I'll add these once I've got the picture in, but that's going to be some more contrast to that white. Now I think I'm ready to put the picture, the photo on. I haven't decided whether I'm going to leave a mat, leave a border around the photo. Never mind that I'm not worried about wrinkling the layout, so I'm happy to put it right on top. I think in order to, there's so much white going on, I'll leave off the white border and cut the cut it right up to the photo, because the white in the photo looks like a black and white photo, but it was actually a snowy day and very early in the morning, so with no sunshine. So these were very gray skies, and that gray I think will contrast with the white. So that's what I'm going to do there. I'm going to adhere a very thick piece of foam, and in fact I think I'll cut the foam smaller so that I'll have a border that isn't adhered to the layout, that allows me to wrap the, to kind of tuck the twine. Okay, here, and I want it to have some, to kind of stand out. I like that placement, so let me get that. I love this adhesive because it does adhere to foam, and I use foam in the form of foam sheets a lot. Let me kind of stick that there. What I liked about the layout that this is also some lace I've also had for a very long time. I think it was in the wedding department of a fabric store. I'm cutting it without much regard for the ends, because the ends are going to be tucked up in under the photo. I think I have too much. Let me cut that off. What I like about this lace is that it has a this flower kind of looks like a snowflake, and I'm going to use some snowflakes in here. Let me kind of glue, put a little glue there, get this kind of tucked under there, and just kind of wrap it around and tuck that under. This isn't quite as attractive as the one in the layout. You know, I'm really not liking that length, although let me see if I can make it work. Okay, there we go. And I like it folded down that way. Let me, my photo cluster is kind of peeling up. I'm going to actually use some liquid glue to kind of get it down, and that will help to get this kind of I will maybe work on that. Okay, I like it going like this. Okay, there. Let me get a little of the twine. I'll tell you what I'm going to do is raise the camera up so that you can see more of what I'm doing. I just kind of want to tuck that in kind of randomly, and the glue is going to help me achieve that kind of random look, and it'll rearrange itself when I put it in an album, so I may have to glue things down more once I settle on a form that I really like, and I want it to look like it was just tossed there. So I'm kind of, the good thing about this, that this glue is that it dries clear, so you won't be able to tell. Now, I have, before I start putting pearls and sequins and other things, I want to add the title, and I have in mind that I'd put "The Hills Are Alive" with up here, and I can probably adhere, let me get this where you can see it, I'll probably adhere the twine right onto the title there. Let me kind of stick it down. That changes a little bit of that. What I did to get these title blocks was to print the words on my computer printer, and then I used, I had this set of dies that can cut various shapes, and I liked the stitch framing around this, so that's what I used. Let's see. And I'm going to kind of overlap that to I'll overlap this Sound of Music down here on the lace. And we'll see, let's see how that works. So that is kind of how it's shaping up now. I believe there may have been some other, another bit of twine elsewhere, and I may put some down down here or up in this corner. This upper corner looks like it could use a cluster of something, so I may do just a cluster, maybe something like a cluster of the lace and some twine. Let me see how that looks. I'll cut a very small piece of twine and maybe add, tell you what I'm going to do is I will glue the twine to the lace, and then I'll put a little glue on the lace and kind of stick it there. It's working with these kind of loose elements, shall we say, non-paper elements, is a little, it's a little different, and what I've done there is glued a sequin, a clear sequin that actually came off the lace. Okay, now that I've got this, I tend to like it to look a little for the edges to curl a little, to add to the kind of vintage look that I'm going for. What I think I'll do now is pull out those music note stickers and see where, gosh, I've got it. Okay, here we go. Mix that, see where they look best. I'll put one here and one here, and then I think I'll do 3 down here, 1, and I used this one to kind of secure that fold. I may do one up here in this cluster and use it to kind of adhere that down. Actually, I don't like that, so it's going away. I don't really want to draw that much attention to there, and I may remove that whole thing later. Okay, so let me do 3 down in here. And I'm going to curl the banners there. I need to leave the glue out because that's how I get my sequins on. I don't have self-adhesive sequins. I haven't ever found any that were very easy to handle. So I'm going to use some snowflake sequins first. I found 4 white ones. Most of them are pale blue, and I didn't want to add that color. I didn't want any color here, and you never thought you'd hear me say those words, right? Okay, I have the snowflake sequins on, and I'm not going to overdo it with the other sequins. I have a These are some Martha Stewart, and they're a combination of white, clear, and silver. And I'm just going to pour out a random assortment of them here. And there are white flat and some white iridescent. And this is white iridescent. I kind of want to do, let's see, and I have another one that's sticking to my finger. I want to use different kinds kind of in among these. I'll throw a silver one in there. In among the ink splashes. I think I'll use 5 down here. I'm going to put a little glue and let that fold stick down, and then I'll stick a sequin on top of the fold. That's kind of, I call that paper molding. It's not something I've done much on layouts, but I did play around with some gauze on an art journal page and some on a layout, and I perfected the art of the fold and embellish right where I wanted the fold to be, and I wanted it to be noticeable. I added an embellishment that would kind of lead your eye to it. So kind of putting sequins on, and because the sequins are the same color as the underlying background, the placement isn't as critical as it might be otherwise. Again, kind of trying to work with some strategic folds. I've got a few more sequins out here. Let's see where they might want to go. I haven't done a silver up here, so I'll do that. This is maybe not the most exciting part of the layout, although I find it interesting sometimes to see why someone put something somewhere. And if you're looking for that from my video, the correct answer is she has no idea what she's doing until she does it. So I've just kind of placed them in this diagonal flow there, kind of like a flow of music going through. Not any science to it. I typically, if they showed up more and if they were something that your eye would be immediately drawn to, I might do something like use odd numbers, which I tend to try to do anyway, and something like that. So I have a little bit of a problem here that I'm going to solve in front of you. This something sticky got onto this paper, and it's photo paper. So if you know photo paper, you know it doesn't let go of anything sticky. So to cover the kind of smudge, I'm going to put a couple music notes just to kind of cover it, look like it was intentional maybe, and I may add a what I'm calling a water droplet type of jewel. It's a bling, it's a bling gem, but it looks like a water bubble. It's not a faceted thing, so it's not faceted like a rhinestone would be. So I'm going to pick a few of these and kind of place them around. I've got 3 different sizes in my set here, and I used a small one on there. I used a large one down at the top. I'll just kind of, again, my placement rules here are I'm putting them where sequins and ink spots aren't. Just to go with the pearl theme that's in the on the lace, I thought I might pull a couple of pearls and put them kind of diagonally around the picture, going in a different diagonal. No particular reason there. These are the faceted rhinestones, and I'm not a huge fan of those. If I weren't so in love with the totally black and white theme of this layout, I might use some of these blue gems. They would be beautiful in a winter display. So I think I'm done. I will probably cut out another white tag like this and do a handwrite Salzburg 1999. So I'll do that after we finish videoing. I tell you what I am going to do right now. This area right in here looks a little empty, like it might need something. It could benefit from something to kind of balance out where the lace ends and the journaling banner begins. So I'm going to twist up some more twine, let it come unraveled, which is easy for this type of twine. I'm going to put a little glue down on the label so that some of it sticks up there. I'm going to try to keep it from overlapping the words. Okay, this isn't... okay, there we go. I kind of like that. All right. I believe I'm going to call it finished. Other than the journaling, I am doing, just to, so you know, this fits into, it bothers me when I don't see a lot of journaling on layouts, but this is going to fit into an album I'm doing of all the pictures from Salzburg, and this will explain. I'll have some journaling on the back or on another page where I have more photos from that sleigh ride that explain how we saw that that castle. Okay, and I had a water drop there. Okay, so there's my layout. I will take a still photo of it and post it out on my Scrappy Cathy Facebook page and in the For the Love of Pretty Paper album that for the Saturday sketch. This was actually not according to the Saturday sketch. It was a layout that was in the discussion in the comments underneath it, so, but I want to post it out there where Laura Rumble can see it. Okay, thank you for watching. Enjoy. This was a very different experience for me, but I kind of love it.